I've been away from the garden for over 10 days. So let's head inside, see what things look like, do some harvesting, and I want to show you exactly what I'm doing to keep my garden pumping out food deep into fall. Yeah, I'm a gardener, which means I'm a homebody. But you know, I've got a wife and 3 kids, and we do like to go on summer vacation. And I have set my garden up where I can walk away for 1, 2, or even 3 weeks, and I know it's gonna be okay. But every time we come back, it's always a mystery. These winter squash look really good, but I know that I'm gonna have some overgrown yellow squash and zucchini because the plants were maturing right before we left. And if you've grown squash or zucchini before, you know that 10 days is a lot. They can go from this to this in the matter of a blink of an eye. So that's definitely where I'm going first. This is kind of looking like exactly how I thought, but this is what these plants looked like about 12 days ago. They were flawless, perfect, beautiful, and now it just looks like a vegetable horror movie. These plants look absolutely terrible, and I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons why I know for a fact that they're pretty much dead. Whenever you let a squash or zucchini mature on the vine, it basically tells the plant, hey, I've done my job. I've produced a full-size fruit which has seeds inside that are gonna go on, reseed themselves to grow the next generation. So my job here is done, and they go on and X themselves. That's probably half of what has happened here. And I know just like coming in and pulling out some of these huge gourd looking yellow squash. Look at that, all the bumps on there. This is exactly how you know it's completely matured, that color. This is gonna be full of mature seeds. So that plant just said, yeah, I'm good, I'm done. So, you know, coming back to this can be really demoralizing for a lot of people. But for me, I see it as another opportunity. See, I know that as of today, which is August 26th, that I still have about 87 days left in my growing season. And the reason why that makes me confident is because I know that all of these plants right here only take about 50 to 60 days to produce a squash or a zucchini. So what that means is I can rip these all out right now, plant some new seeds, and I know that I will have some more squash and zucchini being pumped out from my garden before I get my first frost. And that's exactly why I'm not upset, because I know if I wanted to, I can get another round of crops, at least one out of this bed. And that is not even considering what I'm going to be planting for the fall. What cold hardy plants am I going to be planting next after these squash and zucchini are officially done? So I can easily get 2 more crops out of these beds this year, and then I can continue to set my garden up for an abundant spring. So if you want to have this planting confidence in your own garden, I just released my brand new and online personalized gardening calendars, where you can actually go in and plug in your area's first frost dates, and this calendar will automatically spit out tasks that you need to do every single month of the year and color code it and give you a task list on the side of the calendar so you know exactly what to do for your area. This is such an amazing tool, and I know that it's going to help you become an even better gardener for the rest of your life. So head to the description and go check it out. Staying on the squash train, look at these beautiful winter squashes that we planted on our arch trellis, our cattle panel trellis. And just looking in these raised beds, we have got dozens of butternut, acorn, and spaghetti squashes. And this is exactly what you need to do in order for you to be eating from your garden in the middle of winter. Just because it's wintertime doesn't mean you have to stop eating from your garden. Yeah, things might not be growing depending on where you live in the country. And for most of us, that's definitely not a possibility. But when you grow things like this that have a really long shelf life, you can be enjoying that fresh garden flavor literally all season long. So if you're not growing varieties of plants that allow for long-term storage, I definitely recommend adding more of these things into your garden. And it also helps you to take advantage of this vertical space. So that way you're not using all of the ground space of your garden, which also lets you grow even more plants. I've also just started going through and picking all of these green beans. I've got two about 4 foot by 8 foot beds full of just green beans. And I planted them in these beds because we were growing brassicas, some cabbages, cauliflower. This bed right here specifically had all cauliflower. We grew 12 cauliflower plants in this bed alone. So we got lots of production out of it. And it was amazing to see these purple and white and yellow cauliflower heads that we pulled out of here. But in order to help rejuvenate this garden bed, I wanted to plant some green beans because they are great at fixing nitrogen, adding nitrogen into the soil, as long as you let them grow long enough. And the one thing that you don't want to do is rip the plants out after they start producing. Because if you do that, you'll see these like white nodules or those little bumps that are all around the roots of the green bean plants. And those are nitrogen nodules. That's what's actually adding the nitrogen to the soil. So after your green beans stop producing, just let them freeze and incorporate them back into your garden beds to ensure that all that nitrogen is being added to your garden beds. And you're gonna see such a significant difference in the overall production of these garden beds in the future. It's amazing. And while we're waiting for that, these plants are just gonna continue to pump out green beans for the rest of the year. And just like our squash and zucchini, our green beans only take about 60 days to produce. So if you got some empty garden space, go ahead, get out there and grow some green beans. Even if you don't get green beans from them this year, you know that you're gonna be adding an essential nutrient for your plant's growth for next season. What are you doing? You're gonna lay some eggs in here probably? Yep, you are. All right, we saw how the garden was doing. We did some essential harvesting to keep the plants producing. But now what am I going to do in order to keep my garden producing deep into the fall? And this is where cold hardy plants are key to a perpetual garden growing strategy. These squash are done. These winter squash are going to be done pretty soon. We've got green beans that eventually they're going to just stop producing, especially as those days get shorter. The peppers and the zinnias, they're still pumping out. I'm going to keep letting them go. The tomatoes, we just planted our next succession. I'm hoping that we get a ton of tomatoes before our first frost. But we've still got quite a bit of empty bed space around here. So what are some of the things that I'm going to plant? And some of my favorite cold hardy veggies. Let me just make a list for you. Carrots. You can plant them now and they will actually grow into the fall and maybe even into the winter. And you can just use the soil as a refrigerator. So even as they mature, you don't have to pick them all at once. You can just pick 1, 2, 3, 4 at a time as the weather cools. Use the soil as a refrigerator. Come out here after it snows, brush them off, pick some carrots out of the soil, and they are so good because as a frost comes in, it actually forces those plants to send more sugars to those roots to act as an antifreeze, and it makes those carrots oh so sweet. So carrots, definitely on my fall planting list. Something that I always plant with carrots is spinach. Spinach and carrots, I don't know why, they just grow so well together. I think it might be because they just use different nutrients. Spinach is going to suck up all that nitrogen, while carrots are going to use more phosphorus and potassium to grow those deep and thick roots. So for me, they've always worked amazing as a companion plant. Some other things I love to grow in the fall, all types of brassicas, cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower. And you can plant those right now. It might seem a little bit late, but we can apply some protection strategies that I'm gonna be talking about probably in another video, just because it deserves a whole video on its own. But we can use some row covers, frost covers, different season extension strategies that can extend our season deep into this fall, but also we can use the exact same strategies in order to lengthen our season at the beginning of spring. So we can easily add 2 months onto our season overall, which is huge. So definitely get some cabbages, broccoli, cauliflower into your gardens from seed, plant them right now, and you can probably get some beautiful brassica heads out of your garden this year. And to kind of like finish things off, fill in some gaps with some smaller plants, we've got lettuce. Amazing, can grow up and sometimes through a frost depending on which variety. We could plant some radishes, quick growing within 30 days. And another one that I love are beets. And you can just pop these into little spaces. They'll grow in those clusters and you just pull them as you need them. They're fantastic. And just like carrots, they're gonna become sweeter after a frost. So the real purpose of this video is, if you have some setbacks in your garden, and this is 100% a part of gardening. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. But if you have a setback, don't let it discourage you. Change your mindset, learn from it, and challenge what you actually know and what your garden can produce for you. Use this as a learning experience and an opportunity to make yourself even better. Because as I talked about, just knowing the simple piece of information of when is my first frost date completely opens up your mind to opportunity and allows you to continue to pump out food from your garden deep into the fall. I really hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this one. And down in the comments, I want you to let me know, what is your favorite strategy that you use in your garden that helps you extend your harvests deep into the fall and maybe even into the winter? Because it's this kind of information that I want to be sharing with everyone here at Earth Nails and Tails, so we can all get better at gardening together. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel for even more gardening and homesteading tips, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, did that just leak on me? Oh.